This is the ZWO EAF, the electronic autofocuser for a refractor. This is the newer 5-volt version, so it does not have the 12-volt plug-in. It just has the temperature probe that plugs in here, and then the USB cable here. It installs really easily. There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to install it, but essentially you just take that sleeve, you remove the focuser knob from this side, and then replace it with this sleeve and the 2 set screws. When I installed it, I kind of got lucky. This screw right here, along with the washer, well, just the screw comes from the dovetail up here. So I just took one of these 2 screws from the dovetail and used that along with one washer to install the bracket to the stock focuser. Once you have installed it, you cannot move these manually. You'd have to either loosen these 2 set screws in order to move it, or just use the computer to move it. In all of these types of systems where the focuser just attaches directly to the shaft, and even with any kind of focuser like this anyway, with a geared system, there's going to be a little bit of backlash. So as soon as you turn this knob, if it's the same direction, it's not a problem. But when you start to reverse it, there will be a little bit of play. That's the little bit of backlash that needs to be taken up before the focuser will start to move again. So I wanted to set up the ZWO electronic autofocuser, the backlash setting in Nina. I was kind of having trouble just visually determining when the focus knob was moving. So I set up these couple of pencils here so I could see the motion a little bit easier. So just to see what we're dealing with here, I'm going to move the focuser 1 step in, and you'll just barely see that the pencil tip move. That was 1 step, another step, another step, another step, and another step. And now I'm going to do 10 steps, and 10 more, and 10 more. And obviously you can see the 10 steps a whole lot easier. So now what I'm going to do, I started with a target position of 4997. So I'm just going to go ahead and move to about 5010, the overshoot, and then it'll come back. And now I'm going to go back to 4997, and we should be pretty close to where we started from. So it looks like I'm off by about one or two steps. So if I just move 1 and then 2 and take a look at it, that's pretty close, maybe 1 more. And then the place you adjust the settings is here in the options tab. You just want to set that for overshoot. And then my backlash out setting is 44. So I could adjust that. So I'll go ahead and do like 43. And then go back over to the focuser. And I'm starting parallel again. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm just going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll move 10, 20, and 30. Then I'm going to go back out to 5010, and then 4997 I think is wrong now because I moved it. So yeah, that's going to be about the 2 or 3 off that I should have compensated for. So let's go 4994 and move that. That looks like it's just a tiny bit out. So I think I'm actually between 43 and 44. But I mean, 1 step, you know, it's not a big deal. So I think I'm just going to leave it probably set for 43 and just go with it like that. So I'm going to run just a couple of other tests. I'm going to start off going back out. And every time I go out 10 steps, it's going to employ the backlash setting. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that original 4994 where I just left, and we'll see how close we are. See, that's more open, so I think I need to be back on 43. So I'm going to go with 43. Oh, I'm sorry, 44, because I think I had better success with that. So 44, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get it back to where it should be. That should have moved it about 3 steps. I think I'm going to do 1 more step. Okay, we're going to call that parallel, and the number is 4998. So I'm actually just going to put it in here, 4998, and hit move. It's not going to move because it already is at 4998. So now I'm going to go out 10 and out 10 again, and it's overshooting each time by that 44. So ultimately from 4998, I'm at 5028, which is just the 30 steps, the 3 times that I hit that. So now if I hit move, it won't do any overshoot because it's the same direction, and it should go right back to where we were. Yeah, so I think I like that number better. So I'm going to call that good, and I hope this helps. Take care.